Hey everybody, I'm Pastor Nick McRae and you're watching Helpful Hebrew, where we learn a new Hebrew word every day. This week in Helpful Hebrew, we are walking through the first few verses of the 23rd Psalm. Yesterday we learned Adonai Ro'i, the Lord is my shepherd. And today we will talk about Lo Echsar, which means I shall not want, or it's generally, traditionally, I should say, translated as I shall not want. So the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Now, growing up, I always heard that version of this psalm, and I always thought it meant that, I shall not want as in I won't desire anything, right? There won't be anything that I want to have or want to be or want to do. And I guess it kind of made me feel like it wasn't okay to have desires or ambitions or to want anything. And now the disconnect is that really just the English language has changed. And so now the word want has to do with desire, something, desiring something. But the original use of that word in English, want, it means to lack, to not have something. And so when we see the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, it means I shall not lack anything. There won't be anything that I don't have, or I will have everything I need. And sometimes you'll see it translated in modern Bible translations as the Lord is my shepherd, therefore I have everything I need. So another place we can find these words and these ideas in the Hebrew Bible is in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 2. And here in Deuteronomy chapter 2, Moses is kind of recounting the history of the people of Israel before they enter the promised land. And he's talking about how God led them out of slavery in Egypt. And then as they wandered through the desert for 40 years, that God provided for them and they never went hungry. And we read in Deuteronomy chapter 2, starting in verse 7, where Moses says, "Surely the Lord your God has blessed you in all your undertakings. He knows you're going through this great wilderness. These 40 years, the Lord your God has been with you. You have lacked nothing." You have lacked nothing. So that's that same phrase that we see here in the 23rd Psalm. And reflecting on that, it makes me think of a couple of different places in the New Testament. So for instance, in Mark chapter 6, we can see where Jesus is about to feed the 5,000, right? So he sees this great crowd of people coming toward him from all over, and he says that Jesus had compassion for them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. They were like sheep without a shepherd, and so it goes on, and he tells the people to come, and he sits them down, and he takes these 2 loaves and 2 fishes and breaks them, and it becomes a great feast, right? And it says, all the people ate and were filled, and they took up 12 baskets full of the broken pieces left over, right? So they saw that they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he fed them, and they were all filled. There was no food, there was no nothing that they lacked. And there was a bunch left over. There was so much left over. They had everything they need. This also makes me think of something that Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount when he's trying to encourage us, to teach us not to worry, to depend on God. And he says, this is in Matthew 6, starting in verse 25, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them." And so what we find here in the 23rd Psalm is this confession that when God is our shepherd, that God will take care of us and provide for us, and there will be nothing that we need that we will not have. God will sustain us. God will keep us going and will feed our souls. Well, that's all for today. Join us again tomorrow as we learn the next part of Psalm 23.